let's say the Earth is a ball, right? And we could go to the moon, right? But it's a ball that is orbiting the sun at over 66,000 miles an hour. And the sun is traveling through, the universe at, I think it's like 400,000 miles per hour. So we're on a moving ball and we're trying to hit another moving target. So because of gravity and relativity, the way the globe Earth works, right? If you were to go hover up in a helicopter, the Earth doesn't rotate underneath you. The air, the atmosphere, is attached to the Earth. So you move relative to it. So when you hover in a helicopter, the Earth doesn't spin under you. You can't travel to China just by hovering, having the Earth spin, and then land in China because of relativity, right? But once you leave the Earth's atmosphere and you're in the nothingness of space that exists between the Earth and the moon, once you leave the Earth, wouldn't the Earth just zip by you? Once you're no longer moving relative to it, wouldn't the Earth be traveling 66,000 miles an hour away from you? Wouldn't you just be lost in space at that point? We're talking about moving objects. And isn't the moon also moving away from you with the Earth? So once you leave the Earth, how do you get stuck like you're still in the Earth's atmosphere? Are you saying there's atmosphere all the way to the moon between the Earth? Now, that might sound really stupid. And I'm sure science has some great rationalization for why it would be possible to do this.
Earth's atmosphere reaches twice the distance to the moon. Looks like our little blue planet ain't that little. New observations from a study by the European Space Agency and NASA show that Earth's geocorona, an atmospheric layer made of hydrogen atoms, reaches up to 630,000 kilometers, or 391,000 miles away. It is equipped with a remote tool called Solar Wind Anisotropes, or SWAN. The SWAN is capable of detecting hydrogen signatures in the outer layer of Earth's atmosphere by using an absorption cell. When you think of it, this means astronauts and spacecraft that have traveled to the moon technically never left the Earth's atmosphere. Pretty neat, right?
It does sound really stupid. And you know what the best part about it? It's official science now! It's official science now! This is the consensus! And in 50 years, or 500 years, whatever you want to look at it, all that knowledge and science that we thought we had about the moon and the atmosphere, rewritten! And this has been reported by every single major mainstream science propaganda website. This isn't coming from the fringe. This is coming from mainstream science. The moon is now inside Earth's atmosphere. They have created a cleverly reverse-engineered rationalization. If I had argued with a globetard a week ago, that the moon was inside the Earth's atmosphere, I would have been called a retard, I would have been called ignorant, I would have been called stupid, and he would have argued that the moon was outside of the Earth's atmosphere. He would have argued that till the death. Because it was the consensus at the time. Not because it was truth, mind you. Not because it was science. Not because they were looking for truth. But because it was the scientific consensus in the mainstream. Now, a week later, the moon has been placed inside Earth's atmosphere. And that same brainwashed globetard will argue the other side. Think about that. Think about that. They're not arguing for science. They're not arguing for truth. They're arguing the consensus. The appeal to majority, the appeal to authority. It has nothing to do with independent critical thinking.
Hey man, you ever looking to flatter?